Welcome to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Xander Kane and Android Virus. Welcome. Back to the Cemetery Gates podcast. I am Android Virus, joined by my illustrious, some say elusive, co-host, Mr. Xander Kane.
Sometimes I don't want to be found.
You don't. You're like, no. I don't want to be fucking talked to. I don't want to be found. I don't want to be nothing. What?
What?
What? Especially during Halloween, right?
I'm busy during Halloween.
You're the busiest guy I know during Halloween.
Well, thank you, I guess.
It's
exhausting.
Dude, it's exhausting being Mr. Xander Kane, if anybody out there doesn't know. Not only do you have a wife, you got 3 girlfriends you're juggling.
Uh-huh.
And about 2 jobs. Something like that, right? And a dog.
And a dog. A needy dog at that.
A needy dog. And
kids?
No.
And a moderate addiction to alcohol. Moderate, I would say.
Well, since the pandemic.
Yeah, hit us all a little bit hard. I fell into that trap myself, sir.
I did not drink at all during the pandemic.
Oh, it was beer 30 at 12:30 every day. For me, that's what it was. The pandemic was
not good for the waistline.
No, I was just like, I remember sitting in my daughter's old room on the pull-out couch, just drinking, watching TV all the time, and horror movies, and podcasting every day, just drinking. Yeah, in my daughter's old. Those were good. You know, I actually look back on those memories with kind of fond times.
Yeah.
That's when I got to know Mona then. I got to know a lot of different people. I got to know Willis Wheeler back then. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun times. So, but enough of the palaver. Let's get on
banter.
with the show. Yeah.
I don't know if to call that banter, but
banter,
whatever.
Palaver, whatever it is.
Hi, I'm Mona.
Episode 3.
Yeah, Mona's here too.
Oh, hey. Hi, I'm Mona. I'm an alcoholic and glue sniffer. Welcome to the meeting, Mona.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes. Back blessing us and gracing us with their presence. Miss Mona the Bagpie to
The bagpipe.
Excuse me.
The bagpipe.
COVID.
To help episode 3 in our 31 Days of Halloween challenge here on the Cemetery Gates podcast, where we watch all new movies that we have not seen. Mona and I decided to do a list on our own. Mr. Xander Kane's seen everything under the sun this year. He has. So he's got a list of, I don't know, probably about 2, 4, 6 movies. And then we got our 6, and then we watched 2 together. So, let's get the show on the road. What did we start off with? The host?
Yes.
Is that what was that it, Mr. Xander? The host?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you watch The Host? Did you? I hope.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. From 2006, and it's a Korean monster movie, a big monster movie, and yeah, it's hard to like not skate into the political realm on this movie.
Right. Well, it's the same guy that did Parasite, which was also like somewhat political.
Isn't this guy known for social
Yeah.
themes, mixing genres and dark humor?
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically you got
tone shifts.
Yeah, an American military guy, and he's commanding his helpers to dump chemicals into the South Korea's Han River.
They're kind of making fun of Americans.
They are. They certainly are. They're making fun of our interventionist ways and our what other ways do we have? Our I don't know. How would you describe it?
Our military, our scientists.
Yeah, like we know better. Our authoritarian ways, I guess. I don't know in other countries.
Do it.
Yeah, and yeah, and then a couple, I don't know, several years later, this creature comes from the waters and starts going through people. And
it's like Nessie on steroids.
Yeah, and its face kind of peels back. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I thought so. What'd that guy call it? A river dolphin? It's a river dolphin! They're all throwing trash and food at it.
Get out of here! Yeah, and
no, they're all excited. That's how they showed their excitement. That's how they welcomed that thing.
That's how I get welcomed at my kid's school. Everybody throws shit at me. Yeah, and then I guess the creature abducts a kid, kidnaps a kid, and the family kind of bands together to try to save the kid, which is really cool. And it just kind of, I don't know, goes along their adventures, and I don't know.
First they don't like each other.
No, they don't.
And her dad's an idiot.
He's not smart.
No.
And I don't know. It's your normal. It kind of turns into more of like, I think the representation of the creature was America, in my opinion.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing the director, it wouldn't, would not be out of the realm of possibility.
And no one wanted him to do this movie. His friends said you're wasting your time, and so he was sad and wrote it in secret. Put a lot of thought into creating the monster, so maybe those are his friends.
And then this monster movie ended up on a bunch of freaking horror magazine covers when it came out back in 2007. I remember. You know?
Well, it had that fucking awesome poster with the giant, sea creature like arm, octopus looking arm, with the city in the background. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And then we get to see this creature who kind of has a little lair in a sewer, and it regurgitates people, which is really cool. And then we find out the girl's still alive. And I don't know, the family, they're still on their way to go try to rescue her. They get guns from some fucking mafia dudes or gangsters. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean,
it was strange because it was funny, like goofy funny.
Yeah.
Then serious, and then all of a sudden really fucking sad.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen like For Love and Monsters, that movie kind of takes a lot from this. Now that I've gone back and watched The Host, there's just a whole lot to the two films that For Love and Monsters came out in like 2021, I think.
Yeah, I see that one.
You could definitely see like the similarities in story, and they have very similar vibes. So if you liked For the Love of Monsters, I would say definitely check out The Host.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then they eventually like tell the people that like it's like the government tells the people it's toxic, but it's not. It's weird. And then they have like a chemical,
like mustard gas.
Yeah, like they call it Agent Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
the poor dad, they capture him and they practically lobotomize him.
Right. I don't know. And then we get another like kind of towards the tail end, like the creature attacks like more people, and because they're trying to protest the shit fucking coming out of the yellow agent. But the yellow agent does stun the creature, and they're able to rescue somebody, the little girl.
And the little boy that gets caught too, that she's trying to take care of in the little sewer lair.
But what's weird is, like, in weird typical fashion, the little girl's, she's dead. She dies. Like, you expect her to, you know,
that way. Yeah. Sad, really fucking sad all of a sudden.
Yeah, it gets real sad, and then yeah. But
spoiled it. You told.
Sorry. I don't know. I mean, it kind of it really does surround a lot of this family and the people trying to rescue her, and then, you know, kind of the fucked up ineptness of the government and how they lie to us, and it's like they almost create the monster and want to give us the cure, and then tell us it's you know, and then they want to tell us that they saved us. So it's very political movie. I liked it, man. I gave it a solid like 3.5 out of 5. I mean, obviously, 2007 could have a little bit of better effects for me, but all in all, I enjoyed it. What about you guys?
I like the effects. I like how it was CGI and animatronics. I'd probably give it a 3.5 as well. Sorry, Xander.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'd actually give it a 4. My only real knock on this thing is it does feel a little bit long. But overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Enjoyed it.
Not bad. All right, guys. Well, go check it out. The Host, and our number 2 shared movie for the night, I believe. I hope. Was 1990's Alligator 2: The Mutation.
Yeah.
I miss Ramon.
But this wasn't Ramon, or was it Ramon's brother?
It was Ramon's baby.
It was Ramon's baby, yeah. Oh, that's when you first started watching the Android Vision with us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
When Ramon, the original Alligator from the original movie Alligator.
Yes.
Ramon! Yeah, so, I mean, this is pretty much like a rehash of the first one, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, another...
I noticed.
Yeah, tank full of toxic chemicals into the sewers. It mutates a baby alligator, Ramon's son, Ramon the Second, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, you have, and instead of the detective from the first one, you have Joseph Bologna, whatever you say his name.
I know. I was like, Joseph Bologna.
Yeah. And he's not like the other detective. I mean, he could tell he's phoning it in this movie a little bit, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just kind of a lot. It's just similar shit to the first one, but there's a weird storyline with like this crooked real estate agent guy that's coming over and like buying up all the land.
Working with the mayor.
Working with the mayor, like, you know, kind of shady deals and shit. And the whole thing is, you know, the alligator begins causing him problems. And so he hires these hunter guys to come from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like some Cajun backwood guys to come like hunt it and kill it. One of which is Kane Hodder.
Yeah, Kane Hodder and Richard Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch is there too. Which those guys are actually kind of one of my favorite parts of the movie, because I think their interactions are just kind of hilarious.
Fodder for the alligator, I say.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing, like, it doesn't look that big in half the shots on this one. It just looks like it's coming down the water.
Well, and the funny, we have Dee Wallace in this, by the way, as well. Yeah. But like,
she plays a pretty bit part, though.
Yeah,
she's like the cop's wife, and she doesn't have that much screen time.
But the thing about this movie is what pissed me off is they did use a real alligator for certain shots, but
did they? Is that why he looked so great?
Yeah, the depth of perception wasn't like, they tried to like do that forced perspective to make him bigger than what he looked, but it just didn't work out. And then like the head scenes, like where he was grabbing people, that was a fake alligator head. which kind of pisses me off because, like, in the first Alligator, so he appears to be bigger than what he is, because in the first Alligator movie, like, that was all animatronics, and he was fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he crashed. What was it? The wedding.
Yeah, he
Kind
fucking
of
whips.
does a similar thing here, but it's not as great as the first one.
No, I mean, honestly, guys, I mean, for me, if you're gonna do Alligator 2: The Mutation, not giving a whole lot away. There's not a whole lot of originality here. I mean, it's your typical monster. We see this in everything that Jaws created. You know, keep it hush hush. We're trying to sell fucking property. We're trying to fucking throw a fucking party. Let's not fucking talk about the fucking giant monster in the room or giant mutated fucking shark or alligator or whatever it is. And I mean, again, nothing terribly original here. I didn't
And they
think
supposedly added Ramon shots in the original.
Did they? Actually,
Yes.
yeah, I can tell. I don't know. Not happy about that. But I don't know. Not kind of a swing and a miss. I don't know. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Wasn't that great. Some of the kills were cool, but that was about it.
I gave it a 2 as well.
Oh, look at all of us.
Burn.
Like I said, I miss Ramon.
It's just like a 2.5 for me. I'll give it a half. I still thought it was kind of fun, but this one felt more like a made for TV movie than anything. And also, you got like, I liked it less than Killer Croc and Killer Crocodile 2.
Interesting. So, we did a show on those.
Yeah. I think I gave Killer Crocodile like 4 stars, and I gave the second one 3 stars. So,
but those were great.
Those were fantastic.
Yes, goddamn, those are so good.
Yeah. So,
really
but yeah, this one still I think is fairly entertaining.
Yeah.
There's worse things you can watch for sure.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So we're gonna tailspin into our individual lists for the next 6 films, and I'm gonna let Mr. Xander Kane start his first one off tonight for number 18 on our list.
Alrighty. Yes, so I've mentioned it on the show before. I got that Severin box set of all the old folk horror and stuff. It has like 10 folk horror films and short films, and there's an audio book. But anyways, it's an awesome set. But I decided to watch Tilbury, which is also on Shudder now. And it's this like weird... So in this particular movie, like a British soldier, he's like goes to Iceland, and in Reykjavik he goes to join the army and tries to figure out what happened to like one of his like childhood friends, and he thinks that she's just like having a affair with this like soldier guy in the military, but he's very suspicious of the guy, and so he starts thinking of that. There's like flashbacks of him thinking about like there's an ancient like thing called a Tilbury, which is a folklore in Iceland, I guess, and it's where you take the rib of a rib from a corpse, place it between your breasts, and wrap it in wool, and you got to do some like ceremony thing, and
when you do that,
it starts to grow like a creature, like an actual little creature, like a little, I guess, a milk nymph. I don't know what you want to call it, but when it grows and detaches itself from the mother, then the witch goes and steals the milks from all the cows, and the Tilbury comes back, and she basically tells it to like vomit and give him what the Tilbury got, and it's like a weird butter looking consistency, and then they use that and do whatever the fuck with it. I don't know. But the kicker is like, when the Tilbury grows up, he still needs to feed from its mother. So it feeds from a nipple on the witch's thigh.
Oh.
So you see there's an older like Tilbury in this particular story, and it just looks so weird when he's like feeding. It's like really unsettling and just like fucking disturbing. He kind of looks like a Whoville, one of the Who's from Whoville. He's just like kind of a slightly deformed like nose or whatever. But it's just really fucking creepy. It's a really weird fucking story, and it's just kind of uncomfortable to watch. But like, it was batshit crazy, but in like the coolest way possible. So I loved it, and it's from 1987. If I didn't say that, by the way.
No.
Yes, it's from 1987, and it's awesome. Highly recommended on Shudder. It's a 4 out of 5 for me for Tilbury. It's just a weird fucking what, and I loved it.
There you go, man. Well, thanks for the recommendation. We'll check it out.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to
For
see.
Tilbury. I want to see it.
Tilbury,
right.
Tilbury. I don't know.
Tilbury.
Bill Murray. Who knows?
Bill Murray. Number 18 on our list, I believe, and I'll go, is we decided to pick some new blood this year. This is kind of, we get up on our list, like to do some newer horror. We did 2022's Hellraiser.
Yeah.
It's directed by David Bruckner, who's making his name for himself in the horror industry, which is really good. He's done a lot of cool movies. I know he did The Ritual. He did some VHS stuff. So really cool to see where this guy's going. I'm glad he got this gig. Yeah, a lot of cool things. Creepshow. I guess this is an adaptation of... Mona's more the Hellraiser expert than I am. I have like an old comic book, and I've seen the movies. That's it.
More like a revision.
Is that what you would call it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean...
more for the fans, which I think it did wonderfully.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you... This is, I don't know. This was originally supposed to be done by the guys who did fucking Martyrs, remember? Or something like that. I think they did Martyrs, or they did Inside. Anyways, they were supposed to do this, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a revisioning. We know everybody knows everything about Hellraiser. You know, you got this. I like the way it came down, where this chick was a fucking addict, and she had a shitty relationship with her brother. He's on his last fucking string with her, I guess you could say, and she has a boyfriend who's an addict, and
he's a piece of shit. They're
very sexual, which people are like, well, there's not a lot of sex. There's a lot of sex in this movie. There is. I don't know. I thought it was sex. Maybe.
Yeah,
anyways,
there was.
And then he's like, hey, you want to do a score? I know this fucking millionaire. And they find the box in this fucking room that shouldn't be opened, and she starts fucking around with it, right? And obviously, you got to go back to the beginning, where you presume is the millionaire, the rich guy who has a box, and he's setting up a dude to fucking...
That prostitute
to cut himself on the box, to give his blood or sacrifice to the Cenobites that are in the other dimension.
Yeah, that was the different thing about the lament configuration, was the blade that cuts you.
Yeah,
your blood sacrifice. You're fucked, Cenobites. You're in their target.
Wherever you go, dude. And I liked it because, like, as people did get cut with it throughout the movie, the van scene was really cool. Like, next thing you know, like, how she was fading away from what I don't know, it was weird. That was
cool. That was so cool because I have dreams that are like that.
Oh,
that look like that. Yeah,
did you watch this, Mr. Xander Kane?
I didn't get to it yet.
We won't get too many spoilers, but you got your typical Hellraiser storyline, you know, and
no, it wasn't typical.
Well,
it was better. It was a good story. It was about, it was a good study of humanity.
Make a deal with us, and if you make and don't make, it's like the genies, like, be careful what you wish for, you know what I mean? Because they're really going to give it to you, and you're not going to like it. And then, you know, or you don't give them your power and you just walk away. And they're like, all right. And then they're just like, well, enjoy your life of fucking depression.
Take that.
Yeah. If you don't accept us, enjoy your mundane existence being a human with all the fucking tropes it has to offer. But, yeah, I don't want to give too much away from Mr. Xander Kane.
That was her punishment. That was her pain.
That was, yes. To lose everybody, I guess. But I don't want to give too much away for Mr. Xander Kane in this one. I really want to, like, just kind of like, what did you think of the Cenobites look, Mona?
They were great.
Iconic. They were great.
They are, like, almost exactly as described in the book, The Hellbound Heart, The Scarlet Gospels, Weave World. They, because they describe, I don't like to call him Pinhead because it's stupid, and Clive Barker hated that nickname. So it's the Hell Priest, and she had the grid on her head with the jeweled pins. They didn't just look like nails. Just the way they're described, how their skin is peeled back, and then how together with hooks and jeweled pins, and their scars, and how they're so white they glow, and their eyes are black. And yes, it was beautiful. It was like exactly like the book. And then we have the new Cenobites, which are really cool because they use prosthetics, and then we have like one original from the old, the Chatterer.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I would say.
And the best part is the ending.
Yeah.
Can't give too much away.
No, don't. He needs. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away. I'll discuss that with you later too, because I need.
Oh, and then the rich guy, his punishment, that thing inside him, that was brutal. I was like, yeah, dude, I feel you.
there is one part, Xander, where I'm not giving too much away, where somebody's screaming and like she's being held back by hooks so she can't move, and one of the Cenobites puts like a big old needle through her throat, like
she
right
takes
into her...
the pin out of her head.
Oh no, it's the Hell Priest.
Yes.
Takes the pin out of her head, puts it in the chick's throat from side to side, and as she's screaming, she starts kind of like winding it like a toy box, and making noise like she's like, see what your scream, like the music your screams make or something like that. I was like,
and it shows inside her throat and it going in.
Yeah, I mean, man. So you got the gore, the gore, the prosthetics, the story. They all hit it for me on the head. For me,
the
I'd
voice of the Hell Priest was like the book. Voice light, breathy, that of an excited girl.
Yeah. Also hit everything for me. Really liked it. Solid. I would say a solid 5 out of 5 for me on this one.
For sure. 5 out of 5 for me.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty good, dude.
Well,
I have no problem with it. None whatsoever.
Well, hell yeah, that sounds like a damn good time then.
All right, let's go to yours next,
from the original.
Sir.
Wait.
Sorry.
And new things. So yeah, that's it.
All right, Xander, what's your next film? Your number 19, sir.
My number 19 was a theater watch for Smile from 2022.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is, I'm sure everybody's seen the poster. It has a really cool poster. It's like an upside down woman with a smile, and it says smile underneath it. So it looks kind of creepy and eerie, but we follow this doctor who is a psychiatrist or some sort of mental health professional, and she's trying to help a patient, and the patient's like freaking out and is convinced that someone's behind her, and winds up killing herself in front of her. And the whole thing is like there's like a demon believed to be attached to these people, and when the only way the demon can like switch bodies or whatever is making someone watch them commit suicide to their host body. And that's like kind of how it jumps, and it's following this doctor who's like, I'm not crazy, and she's trying to convince people of all the things that she's seeing, like just little things like creeping up. They do a lot of, It Follows.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that kind of eerie, slow, something's there type music moments, and like it's just paced really well by the music, kind of like how It Follows is. I thought a lot of people gave Saucy Bacon which is the main lead actress, shit for saying she was awful. I thought she was great. So
Saucy Bacon.
Yeah. So I think she did a really good job of playing that role, and without her, I don't think the film's actually really all that good. But with her in it, I think it's great, and they did a really good job of casting in this particular film, where people that have like really kind of wide jaws and high cheeks, so when they smile, it's like a full, you know, a big old smile, so it looks way creepier than just like the average person. So little stuff like that they did really well in the film.
Like
So I
the
appreciate those little
Soundgarden
nods.
video.
Not better than that. Better than that. But yeah, it was a damn. I had pretty no expectations on this. I thought this was going to be a complete dog turd, but it was not. I thought it was great, and it was a great theater experience for me. So the theater experience was so good that I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Whoa!
Realistically, it's
Yay.
probably about a 3.5. But I don't care. It was the perfect movie for the perfect time, and it was great. It's not too long. It does have a lot of jump scares, but normally that pisses me off and I get irritated. But it didn't bother me in this one for whatever reason. So
There you go, man. I've been on my to do. We've been getting inundated with a lot of really good horror this year. I feel like so.
the late this year has been pretty damn stellar. So
It's been pretty good. Our number 19, and we're gonna. This is a first, I think, for Cemetery Gates. We did Disney Plus's Marvel's Werewolf by Night from 2022. Did you catch this one, Mr. Xander Kane?
I did not. I didn't know if it was actually horror or not. So
It wasn't very long.
It wasn't. No, they really took the whole fucking old fucking black and white movie seriously and only made it 105 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was really good.
It was really good.
I don't know what to say because I didn't really know. I'm not a big fan like you. I just browsed the comics in your garage in awe. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go into. I mean, I think they really hit the nail on the head this one, and you know, it's funny because the wolf's name is, as we all know, Jack Russell. So there are some things, if you had never seen this before, that he does allude to that he is the wolf. So basically, the movie starts out with, and you got to know a lot about some of the Marvel lore, but essentially the way it works is there's a guy named Ulysses Bloodstone. He's pretty big in the comic books, and he's a monster hunter basically, and he's pretty immortal. He's lived for a really long time because he does have a thing called a bloodstone, and he uses it to fight monsters. Well, he passes away. He has this huge mansion. Think of like Blade. He's kind of like a Blade kind of guy, but you know, like a white, like Viking type of looking dude. But you only see his corpse in this. But so they gather all the famous monster hunters with the most kills from around the world to his mansion to compete with the monster that they have captured on the property of Ulysses Bloodstone, and whoever kills him is going to be the new holder of the Bloodstone. So basically he'll be like the king of the monster hunters. And they invite and this is all in black and white, by the way, which is really fucking cool. And the only thing like in red is like the Bloodstone, right? It's and really cool fucking like they have like in Ulysses Bloodstone's parlor, he has like it's a circular room and it's just lined with monster heads, which is really fucking cool. I mean, I think it would have been really awesome whoever got that assignment or whatever artist got that assignment to design those top fucking notch. And so basically the way it works down is this Jack Russell, his face is painted up like his ancestors. He's a Mexican. And then Ulysses' daughter's there. She doesn't want the fucking mantle, but she's there anyways. And Ulysses, I don't know, is his wife or his help? She's a bitch, this old lady. She's his wife or helper and says, "You all have to do it." And
Yeah, she was the wife because the daughter called her stepmom, and she didn't like her family. They didn't get along.
So they kind of let the monster hunters loose on his property, which is like pretty much a big property of. I don't know. It's massive. It's huge. It's kind of it's like a maze,
like a garden maze.
And so Jack Russell fucking tracks down the monster that they're chasing, and it's Man-Thing, and which is so fucking cool for the MCU because Man-Thing in the comic books is a horror character. he is basically Man-Thing's been around since like 1971, and Swamp Thing in DC is taken off of Man-Thing. And yeah, so Swamp Thing is not the original, Man-Thing is, and he's pretty much made the same way. He was a scientist working for the government. They don't explain it in the show, and he was doing bad experiments, but not to he didn't know. He thought he was doing something good. Cabin explodes. He gets whatever shit he was working on turned him into Man-Thing. And his powers are really cool because he can either absorb you or eviscerate you with fucking acid from his fucking body. And yeah, the cool thing about Man-Thing, I'm geeking out for a minute there, is he can go to
I should bring up that Man-Thing movie is on Tubi right now. So
fuck yeah, he can go to other universes. And the reason why, and he's like a keeper of the secrets of other universes, because he can regenerate his body. That's his power. He can grow from just, let's just say if he dies and gets eviscerated, he can grow from a fucking marijuana plant that's outside. Because he's
connected, that power.
Because he's connected to all the roots in the world, and he's also connected to all the fungus, and that's why he can go to other universes. His powers are fucking insane. But anyways, Jack Russell is there to basically save Man-Thing. He's undercover. And he's like, all right, I'm sick and tired of rescuing you, you know, and I don't know.
They have to like kill each other, right, to get the jewel from Man-Thing.
Yeah, but then Man-Thing escapes, and then they're like, "Oh, the jewel's fucking reflecting you, so you're Jack Russell. You're let's see what creature you are." He's a fucking werewolf. But I like how he's like, if you notice, there's some parts he's like, they put him in the cage with the main hunter, Bloodstone's daughter. They want to watch him fucking eviscerate her. Because he's like, let me smell you. So he smells her like a dog because he wants to remember her smell when he's a fucking werewolf.
He doesn't kill her because they teamed up together. They didn't care about the jewel.
He's a good dude. Anyways, it kind of goes where you think it's gonna go. It's action packed. It's fucking amazing. I think towards the tail end, after all is said and done, Disney obviously has the money. They started playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Was neat.
And her dress starts turning color, and all the scenes start turning color after Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Man, I fucking love this thing, and I'll fucking watch it again and again and again. It's really that good. Kudos! It's the best thing Disney and Marvel has done in years, in my opinion. I'm not a big Disney guy. I'm kind of like Marvel here and there. It's hit and miss. More of an abusive relationship with Marvel, MCU, but. Highly fucking recommended. One of the best watches of this month. 5 out of 5. A strong 5 out of 5 for me on this one.
Nice.
Yeah, it reminded me of like old classic Halloween specials. It was really good. I give it a 5 out of 5.
There you go.
Got all these high ratings today.
Dude, you need to watch this, brother.
I will.
All right. Number 20 on your list, sir.
All right, another 2022 release, the return of Mr. Legendary Dario Argento in his new film Dark Glasses. It's the story of a lady who is a prostitute, kind of a higher end prostitute. Of course, she's a prostitute. She's going around and sleeping with dudes, and the backstory here is there's a serial killer kind of killing women of the night, and she thinks that he's coming after her. And eventually he does catch up to her, but she gets in a car accident and she's blind. And that's kind of the next, hence the dark glasses. She's always wearing the dark glasses. And so now she can't see, and she's still got this serial killer out there. And the whole movie is like your typical giallo, like kind of cat and mouse thing going on. All the classic giallo, like trademarks are in here. The music's a little different from Argento's older stuff, like Goblin stuff. Like that's not who did the soundtrack for this, but ultimately I think it works. It works really well. And if you're a fan of Argento, if you're really a big fan of Argento, I think you like this. If you're not into Argento, I don't think it's gonna, blow you away or anything. But for me, like, it's kind of Argento. He's in his good lord, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his 80s, late 70s, early 80s. To me, him making this film was like, hey, I can still fucking make a giallo. you know, and it's solid. Is it his best work? No, but I'm just happy to get this from Argento at his age. I think it's really great. It's a 4 out of 5 for me on Dark Glasses.
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah,
and
it's just solid.
Does it hit really good as a Giallo, though, man?
It does, absolutely, totally does. It totally does. So I was just impressed that he was able to put this caliber. Because, like, what was the last one he did? Giallo with Adrian Brody?
Mm-hmm.
That one sucked. That one was so bad. So I thought he was done. I thought we had lost him forever after that one. But nah, this one, good stuff. I'll watch it again, and I don't rewatch stuff very often, but I'll watch this one again for sure.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, yeah,
which is on Shudder now. So.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad he's still doing it, man. I'm glad he's still doing it, which is good. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a check out. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So our number 20.
Is it Cargo?
No.
We Are the Flesh?
No. Studio 666.
I've seen this one.
It's I guess it's listed as a musical horror comedy film. I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically starring the Foo Fighters as themselves. And they want to make a really cool album, and they actually go to a real a place. They go to a house that's cursed, that we find out from the beginning. You know, another band was there, and there was a big slaughter that happened. Somebody got possessed, which is, this house actually is a true recording studio that is rumored to be haunted. There's a lot of bands in LA that have recorded there, which is pretty cool. Wasp, Slipknot, Red Hot Chili Peppers, all the big ones have recorded there. I think even like Led Zeppelin might have recorded there. I mean, a ton. But anyways, yeah, it's a real place, which is really cool.
What happened in this house?
In real life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know what happened in real life. I just know that it's haunted. It's rumored to be
bad, or
rumored to be haunted. No, not necessarily bad, just rumored to be haunted. Probably just fucking spirits trying to communicate, but nothing nefarious.
Nothing nefarious.
Guessing.
Yeah, I mean, people still go back, but yeah. So, Foo Fighters are having some writer's block.
They go back no matter what. That's how horror movies are made.
Yeah. Say what? Is your mic rubbing on your beard, Xander?
No. Is
okay.
It?
I don't know. It sounds like it was.
Sounds like someone's raking.
Oh, I was just scratching my arm.
Oh.
For like an hour.
It picked it up. No, it just picked it up. But yeah, I mean, it stars all the Foo Fighters, and Dave Grohl like is immediately like fascinated with this house, and like the drums got to be set here, and da 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 da. Like he's immediately enthralled with the house. Then you get like Kerry King from Slayers in it as like one of the roadies that sets things up, and that's when you get like, your first kill, and he gets electrocuted and burnt, which is pretty funny. And they're all trying to kick him loose and stuff. But I don't know, that was a cool scene. And yeah, I don't know, Dave they find like a decapitated body. There's like ghosts appearing, but not. I don't know, like, and it pretty much turns out that Dave Grohl is getting possessed by whatever spirits are there, and he's kind of fucking killing his band off one by one.
Yeah, because he wants to be a solo artist. So
yeah,
he kills off all the band members.
Yeah, and it goes where you think it does, like just, and everybody dies, and I don't know, and fucking there's there's Taylor Hawkins gets decapitated by a symbol, and then the cool scene is like there's a chick and the dude having sex in the bed, and the chainsaw cuts him in half. That was a pretty good one. I don't know. I mean, for as much as like the Foo Fighters like bug a lot of people, I mean, whatever. The movie itself was corny. It was like I said, it was a horror comedy / musical. I thought the gore was definitely acceptable. Nothing too shocking. It was ambitious. It was I think it was kind of a hit and a miss for them, unfortunately, with the death of their drummer. They probably couldn't tour it around as much as they wanted to, or showcase as much as they wanted to. I thought all in all it was good fun. It's not something that I'll probably watch again. It's not something that was really memorable or stuck with me or blew me away. It's very middle of the road for me, 2.5 out of 5. but I had an okay time with it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. So I'm right in the middle of the road. What about you, Mona?
1.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess you have to be a Foo Fighter fan. I mean, the gore was good, cheesy, fun. There's too many old man jokes that weren't funny.
Okay.
It was really long, and I'd had enough of it. I had enough of hanging out with the Foo Fighters. It's like, I gotta get out of here.
I like the idea of the movie that it started off like as a little jokey thing, and then it just kind of slowly morphed into like, oh, we're gonna make a movie. And then they actually like, holy shit, Dave Grohl was like, holy shit, we're actually getting money to make this fucking movie. So they actually recorded like a metal EP, like for the soundtrack. Dave Grohl recorded like some metal tracks for the movie, but like, you know, wasn't really promoted at all because you know, the untimely death of Taylor Hawkins. So the movie kind of got put talking about that. Well, I'm sure it was probably hard to talk about the movie after he passed away, just because, you know, Dave Grohl kills him in the movie. Which I know they probably had a blast making it on set. So seems like they had fun with it, and I appreciate the fact they didn't really try to take it too seriously. But I agree with Mona that it does start to feel long as fuck. I felt like that movie was ending for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Which is a downside. But I still give it a 3 out of 5 just because I do find it. Would I intentionally turn it on again and watch it? But no, I would turn it on if I had people over, just have something on in the background with a few random like silly kills in it. So,
yeah, it was a very middle of the road for me. So, all right, man. What's your next movie? Your number 22, sir.
My number 22. We're gonna go back to 1993 film Doppelganger, starring one Miss Drew Barrymore and Dennis Christopher, who was in The Falling that I talked about last episode. He happened to be in this movie too, which is the adult version of Eddie Kasperick in Tommy Lee Wallace's It. He plays the adult version of him. Yeah, but he's in Doppelganger as well. So this stars Drew Barrymore, and this has such like a 90s silk stocking vibe to it. You know, I think like Poison Ivy or one of those movies like that. Like it reeks of the 90s. But Drew Barrymore moves from New York to LA, and she was implicated in the murder for her mother. And so she's just like kind of trying to split from that, but she claims to be having an alter ego that moves in, or she has an alter ego that kind of goes around. You don't really know if it's like her or she has an evil twin. Like, you don't really know where the fucking movie's going, but she moves in with this dude, and she's like this sweet, nice girl, and then he kind of eventually starts seeing her alter ego here and there, and then Drew Barrymore's normal self is trying to convince him that he, you know, that she has a doppelganger, and of course they start fucking, and stuff gets weird, and the whole movie you're kind of playing that, is she mentally unstable, what's going on? But it gets absolutely batshit crazy the last like 30 minutes with some incredible effects from Greg Nicotero over at Camp Beast. So the effects are fantastic, and honestly one of the coolest transformation scenes I've seen happen late in that film, which is just really, really fucking cool. So for something that started off like really, like I said, like, you know, Silk Stockings-esque, it actually turned out to be a really fucking cool movie. With Drew Barrymore in it. So it's a 3.5 out of 5 for Doppelganger from 1993. Highly recommended to check it out, if for nothing else than to see the transformation scenes towards the end of the film by Mr. Nicotero.
She this is like when her career was kind of in a slump, huh?
This is she did this just before or after that Poison Ivy movie. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. And then she did Playboy.
Yeah, they have a very similar feel like that era. So it was cool though, man. I think it was on Tubi, maybe.
I don't mind those eras. The
that was cool. I think it
92, 93ish, 94ish. Some of those fucking
like
late night horror movies. Those are great.
Yeah, if I was to make like a list of like good 90s horror flicks, this would be in there for me.
Very cool.
It's a cool fucking story.
All right, man. Well, yeah, we'll have to check it out. All right, I'm gonna let Mona take this one over, but I will let you know that our number 2020, our number 22 of this month was 2017's Cargo.
Oh yeah, should have been called conjunctivitis. One of my oldest friends, good friends, agreed. I have to say hi. Hi, Regina Anaya. She's the one that gave me my magpie name.
Nice.
Hi, Regina.
Just a Ray. I wanted another female's perspective on this movie because it was a lot of dudes and they all kind of felt the same way about it. So it's a 2017 Netflix film, I think. It's post-apocalyptic, my favorite. Kind of like a horror drama directed by Yolanda Ramke and Ben Howley. I don't know what else they do. Do you?
No clue.
It takes place in a rural part of Australia. It has Martin Freeman in it, fucking Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. He's a great piece of shit in Fargo. And I remember, I think it was called Ghost Stories, maybe? A horror anthology from last year's Halloween Challenge. Just a whole bunch of movies. So rural Australia starts off with Andy Freeman, his wife, and their baby, Rosie, traveling down a river on a houseboat. They're living in a world where the world is taken over by a virus. Not android virus.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe. Did you give people major pink eye in Australia?
Yeah, I did.
So that happens to them. It's weird. It's gross. They have like dischargy eyes and nose and mouth, and it turns them rabid. Would you call them zombies or more like the infected?
Like infected for sure.
But I know
like it's like yellow mocos. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it was gross. And then everyone like that finds this discharge, they just like poke at it and look at it. I'm like, ew, don't touch it. So they bite you, you're infected, like zombies, but they're infected. So they're running out of food, so Andy gets excited when he sees another family, Riverside, but the father sees them, flashes a gun, so no any help from them. But then he comes across a sailboat, abandoned sailboat, and he goes to get some supplies, retrieves them, but leaves the rest because there seems to be someone or something in one of the closets. He doesn't check it out, he leaves quickly, and this is where I think this guy just starts making bad decisions, terrible ones. Because first, he tells his wife he left some supplies back, but lies and tells her it's totally safe, don't go over there, I'll finish it. So he goes and he takes a nap, and guess what happens? She goes on her own, gets bit, she's sick. Eventually he gets bit because he's driving her around and with his wife and he doesn't care that she's sick. I mean, well, he's panicking, but then she eventually bites him because he's an idiot. So the whole movie is him traveling around the Australian desert with his baby, trying to find someone, anyone, to take care of her before he becomes infected. So the whole movie, he's like sets off, meets a bunch of different survivors, people. So like I said, all the males said sad, aw, poor guy. The movie was sad and brutal, especially the ending. It was disturbing, so on. Yes, I guess it may have been, but I asked Regina what she thought, and we both decided on conjunctivitis, and it both reminded us of The Road a little bit.
Ooh, that's a great book, The Road.
Yeah, but not as good. Oh, I know. The book is more brutal than the movie.
I know.
I did feel like it was trying to get like give the road vibes, and for sure. But like instead of you're in the Australian outback instead of some gloomy ass world. So it's like, man, you got the sun, you got water. What the fuck you got to worry about? Anyways,
But this guy and his stupid actions. She said she was glad he wasn't taking care of her babies. Yeah. I know he was desperate, but he was so naive and trusting for what was going on. Stupid man. We thought we were not disturbed. We were worried about the well-being of that child. So
yeah, not a fan of number 21 Cargo. Just gonna let you know. I thought it was kind of boring myself. I mean the gore, the effects, everything that was cool, but just not a big fan. Just didn't do nothing for me. So yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Womp 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 womp.
Yeah,
What about
I think
you?
I'd agree. 2 out of
All right.
5.
Did you
Just
watch
'cause
this
I
one,
like
Mr. Xander?
I did. It's
apocalyptic.
been a long time, but my rating on it is 2 out of 5. But I don't remember a whole ton except the ending part.
Right on. All right. Let's go ahead and go next to yours.
Next is a film from 2000 called The Convent. You have Adrienne Barbeau in this for a minute. You got Bill Moseley and a few other names in there. Directed by Mike Menendez. It's about it's very Night of the Demons kind of ripoff because it has, it takes place in a abandoned house and it's just a bunch of young kids and they somehow start getting possessed by demons one by one and chasing each other through the house. There's a lot of kind of little nods to Night of the Demons in this, I felt like, but it was still, I mean, it's a straight ripoff, but it was still fun as shit. Like, it was just goofy, had some really cool like effects and then some really bad effects. Like, all the demons have like these shiny blue eyes and like blue lightning bolts essentially CGI'd on their faces and shit. But it was just so silly and fun and like I said, reminiscent of Night of the Demons. So if you like Night of the Demons, this is actually just kind of fun. It's not too long at all. It's just a silly fucking flick that is very enjoyable. And Adrienne Barbeau is kind of a badass in it when she gets on there, because like the opening scene is like pretty shocking. Someone goes into a convent and just starts blasting nuns with a shotgun and murdering an entire convent, hence the name. So it was fun, man. I really liked it. It's 4 out of 5 for me. The Convent. Didn't expect much out of it, but goddamn, it was good fun.
Sounds fun, man. I mean, I haven't I don't know. I haven't seen that one yet. But
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, well, hey, that's why we do this, bitch. That's why we do it.
Yes.
This next movie, I've been.
You're dreading?
No,
Is it the
no, it's not the one. We got.
You save that one for last.
Yes, you save that one for last. This one.
Crimes of the Future.
Ugh.
It wasn't as bad as you made it sound to be.
I haven't seen this yet, but it seems to be pretty divisive.
It had one of my boyfriends in it. What's his name? Scott Speedman. Michael from Underworld, the werewolf.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why, I don't know.
I wasn't a big fan. Basically, I can't. It's so weird. I don't even want to.
David Cronenberg.
It's a David Cronenberg movie. It's in the future.
Very David Cronenberg-y.
And there's people that are like mutants, and their body can digest different shit now, and they don't really need their fucking organs anymore. And then they're not even interested in sex anymore. They're interested in fucking watching live surgery because it's cool, and nobody gets hurt while they're doing the live surgery. And then the army or the government want to fucking keep control of these mutant people and
Get rid of
them or control them.
Because they evolved, so now they can like be born on their own, and they don't need all these like organ transplants, because your body keeps making organs, so you have to keep taking them out through surgery, and then they turned it into a sexual thing. So
yeah,
there's like these performance artists that make a show out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they have the plastic eaters.
Yeah, I mean, I will say at the beginning that death was pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, it was pretty intriguing. The boy, I was like, what the fuck is up with this kid? Because he's all eating the trash can.
There's a little boy at the beginning, and he eats, and his mom's like, come and get your fucking your thing. He's dead. She puts a pillow over his face.
She smothered him.
Yeah,
Oops.
it was pretty fucking weird.
She calls the dad, my husband, come get your dead son. I killed him.
Come get your dead thing.
Yeah, that thing you call a son.
Yeah, this
'Cause
creature.
He's one of the plastic eaters. Can't eat food. He has to eat plastic to survive. And the
Yes.
government's after the dad because the little boy was born with, I guess, I don't know what special organs. So
Yeah, they're like mutants, bro, from fucking the X-Men.
yeah,
It's weird. But I just...
it was okay. Some of the people bothered me because they were mutilating themselves on purpose. I just loved the trauma. I don't want to be beautiful. All cutting up her face. It's like, what, bitch?
I just didn't... I don't know. Like, it was boring. I'm sorry. Fucking Cronenberg. Like, he's okay, but it's just, like, pretentious and boring. Like, I expected so much more. But I understand. I know what I'm getting into when I'm watching a Cronenberg film. I can't complain about that. It's just this highbrow, fucking weird, visceral, fucking shit that only makes sense to him and his fans. And I get it. And I'm not hating on.
I told you, what did I do? Go to goth night, and my friends were like, "Oh, we watched it, and they liked it."
They liked it. Well, good.
Mm-hmm. They're like, "We liked it."
Oh,
scandalous.
Yeah, I liked it already.
I don't know. Maybe it was my mood. I just wasn't like feeling it. I don't know. But anyways, for me, very middle of the road again. A 2 out of 5. 2.5. I'll give it, just because it's Cronenberg. Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I don't know. Can't decide between a 3.5 or a 4.
Whatever your heart feels.
That's what my heart feels.
Go for it.
Yeah.
That's where my heart wants to stay.
But Mr. Xander Kane said that this movie is very divisive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just proved it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. So let's get into your next film, sir.
My next film is from 2020, The Night House, directed by David Bruckner. The story here is this woman, her husband commits suicide, and they live like out on the lake, and she starts finding weird things after her husband's death, and she gets a sense that someone's around, and the whole movie is her having these like basically spooky moments in the house and kind of waking up in different places after she like kind of imagines things, and she's like starting to put all the pieces together that her husband was kind of ultimately up to something. And I'll leave it at that because it's the fun of the movie is actually just watching it unfold. But yeah, it actually is very atmospheric. A couple little scares in there. Very well acted. The music is super great. But it's a very quiet film at times, just because it's she's like listening to what's going on in the house, or wherever she hears a noise or something, or breathing, or in the shower like that. It's very typical classic ghost story like moments in this, delivered with a good performance. It is another solid 3.5 out of 5 for me. Very well put together film. Booyah.
Oh, there you have it. Was that your number 20?
That's the last one, I think.
That's your last one? All
yeah.
right. So we saved a doozy for our last one.
I even told you, like, you don't have to watch this. I'm not going to put you through it. And I was like, fuck that. You're suffering. You're going to...
Yeah, 2017's Mexican horror movie, We Are the Flesh.
Ooh.
So you've seen it.
Yes.
Ew. Caps is correct.
Yeah, so, pretty much you get like a post-apocalyptic future, a fucking weirdo living in a building, banging on a drum, fucking making his own...
Remember you thought they were just homeless? And I was like, I thought it was post-apocalyptic.
It appears to be a post-apocalyptic future. And you get this dude living in a building making some weird... I have my own fucking analytical...
I hated that guy.
To me, it looks like he's building like with tape and boxes, like a larger version of what, like, to me would be like
A birth canal.
no, like a brain cavity or something. I don't know, like neurons in a brain. I don't know. That's what I got from it, and I think this movie is very whatever the viewer gets from it is what it is. First of all, I think so, but he's a weirdo. He's fucking fermenting his own fucking shit or drugs. I don't know what he's doing. And then these
people, maybe.
These teenagers go in there and they're brother and sister, and then he convinces them to fuck each other while he jacks off and watches.
And it's very graphic.
And I don't know yet. I can't find if they were using their real penises and vaginas or they were using prosthetics. I don't know. I don't know
either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because she could have been sucking on a. She could have been sucking on a fake penis, which is fine. I mean, whatever. Even if it was real, it's fine. But like, I don't know. And I guess that's cool. Whatever.
But
and then,
brother and sister, that's why you couldn't enjoy it. And then that crazy, annoying man.
Yeah, he just jerks off and watches them, and
that's what I said. Yeah, I was like,
he blows a load and falls over.
Performance art, and then she has sex with, or is she dry humping his dead corpse? Because doesn't the crazy man die?
No, he gets decapitated at the end.
I know, but he does die in the middle of the movie. Remember, he's dead on the mattress, and she's having sex with him.
Yeah, and then she drips period blood into her brother's mouth while he's sleeping.
No, he's awake.
Oh yeah, he is. Huh? She just stands over him.
Just accepting. Okay.
And then like they capture a cop, and then they cut his throat, and then
they capture a girl,
and then they rape her, and then there's like this weird orgasm the chick has, and like it's just the acting and the talking and the way they're like, oh, you gotta accept this flesh, and I want you to consume me, and
like poetic, or I don't know.
Yeah, you should have your mom. You should have your mom watch it.
No, she'll slap me.
She speaks Spanish, but like
slap me.
And then it kind of like
she will.
It kind of turns into the end where like it's this orgy of craziness, and another guy shows up, and like, but then the world is not so visceral anymore. Like it's almost like the camera color changes to where it's like real world, and then there's
party of perverts, and
but they're all laying around with dicks and tits and pussy everywhere. And then one guy wanders out of the place wearing a nightie, and then when he wanders out of the place, he goes into the real world, and the world's real. It's alive. It's vibrant. It's fucking. I don't know. And then it ends.
I don't remember that part. I watched the whole thing. Was I vomiting at that part?
Maybe he wanders out at the end, and he's not even a guy who was in the movie. He's just one of the dudes, one of the party goers. So my take on it, and again, this is one of those movies that's like it's up to the viewer. Whatever you think from it, I think that's what it is. It's one of those movies. And for me personally, I just think they're a bunch of fucking drug addicts that were holed up in an old fucking office building, all fucking the windows blacked out, and it was like a weird drug addict homeless sex cult. I don't know. That's what I got from it, and that was it. And it was weird. I don't know. It's not like I didn't. It's one of those movies that has to be experienced. Like, it's not like, did I like it? Did I not like it?
It's absolutely like beautiful at times too. Like it looks so good.
No, it does. Like, dude,
it just looks so fucking good. You're like, what's this weird shit? But it looks cool.
Well, like there was a love scene like where it's like they're like making love or having sex, and it's gross because it's brother and sister, but like
that's why I couldn't enjoy anything. I'm sure. Yes, it looked cool, but I was too disturbed.
But it was like
oddly artful.
Yeah, but it was like in Predator vision, you know what I mean? When they were fucking, and then
deviant performance art.
Yeah, and I can't figure out. And we get a close up of a pussy, and it's weird.
It's
fucking weird.
It's an experience.
Graphic. There's dicks everywhere, doing things with dicks, sucking dicks, jacking off dicks, pussies, pussy blood, cum, you name it.
Yeah,
it is called We Are the Flesh.
Yes, well, we are. That's what we are. We're all
No discrimination there in this one.
We're all just made of blood and cum at the end of the day. Yeah. So, anyways, that was our last film of not the month, but of this section. Very middle of the road on this one again. 2.5 out of 5. I didn't quite know what I was watching. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I'm still trying to figure it out. There you go.
I know, you messaged me. You sound so confused.
He still is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still disturbed.
Yeah,
I wasn't in a fetal position, rocking back and forth.
I wasn't so much disturbed as confused. So yeah,
I was
very strange.
Both.
Yeah, very, very odd. A very odd film. So yeah,
one for me. I never want to see it again.
So there you have it. Episode 3. We will return with our final films. 24 through 31 towards the end of this month sometime. And yeah, to all our new listeners out there, keep listening. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening.
Thanks.
Yes, appreciate
that.
Thanks. Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And we'll catch you all on the flip. Thank you for listening to Cemetery Gates Podcast. Good night.
Later days.
Boom.
Halloween's coming. What are you going to do about it?
You've been listening to the Cemetery Gates Podcast, featuring Android Virus and Xander Kane. Follow us on Twitter, @AndroidVirus, @Xander_Kane, and @CemeteryGates66.